feel good. I knew that I would not.
Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Kyle Jellings in studio with Dr. Feldman of Prima Pediatrics for the Prima Pediatrics Healthcare Hour. And we're going to talk all things health, I'm sure. And even more things.
And all things seasonal.
Yes, it is that time of year.
Yes.
And I wanted to first touch on where we can get a hold of you. That's what we need to first talk about. PrimaPediatrics.net. PrimaPeds.net?
Prima Pediatrics.
Oh, I was right the first time. Okay, good. PrimaPediatrics.net. And what's the phone number over there?
661-424-9000.
That's an easy number.
I asked for it.
Oh, all right. That's perfect. And Dr. Feldman, and you've been in pediatrics for how long?
Oh, gosh. 38 years, I think. Since 70, well, theoretically, if you start with my internship, since 75.
Okay, so you have experience, is what we're saying.
Just a touch, yes.
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay. And this is the time of year we got, the holidays and all that fun stuff, but it's kind of a stressful time of year for kids, right?
It's a stressful time of year for kids and for parents.
No, absolutely.
And, it's interesting. I was walking through, it was Halloween yesterday, and I don't know, did you go trick-or-treating?
I did, yeah. Well, my kids did.
Of course, of course. Yeah, well, we trick-or-treated at the office, and of course, we were all dressed up in costume, and yesterday I was a witch doctor.
Okay.
And it was great, my best costumes. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I thought, oh, my God, I'm a white Whoopi Goldberg. It was pretty dang funny. Anyway, but, and of course there's all the candy, and that brings along the first seasonal thing, which is belly aches from too much candy and being careful about your kids' safety. So
okay.
That's one of the things you care about so much in Halloween, and not letting them get too cold, although we were lucky yesterday. The temperatures came up a little bit. And all of that stuff. And then while I was getting candies for Halloween, I was walking through the store, and of course, every store now, even before Halloween, has Christmas stuff.
That's true.
There's not even Thanksgiving stuff up.
Nope.
It's all Christmas already.
Yeah, just skip that Thanksgiving.
Yeah, my goodness, although this year it's going to be very interesting, at least for our Jewish people, because it is the first and probably the only time that Thanksgiving and Hanukkah will coincide.
Yeah, same time.
Yeah,
same exact day.
Exactly, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
That's never happened before. It never
Probably
has
won't
before.
happen again in our life.
77,970 years.
Oh, that's it.
That's
okay.
all.
Okay, all right.
If you happen to live that long.
Okay, then you're doing something right, certainly.
That is for
okay, so
sure.
what are kids stressed about these time of year?
Well, first of all, you got to remember that, they're not even concentrating yet on the holidays so much as they're concentrating on school. And now it's the crunch time. In the beginning, first you have the stress of starting school. Of course, that starts at the end of summer these days. Mid-August, then our kids are back in school, which I think is rather bizarre.
Yeah.
But so be it. And that they've been in school now for a while. And unless they have the tracks where they are off for 3 weeks in October or something like that, they basically have had very few holidays. They had Labor Day, and I think they get off for Veterans Day and so forth. But basically, at this point, they are worn. They are into the system now, and now they're more concerned about, how am I doing? Because in the beginning, you don't really know how you're doing, and there's a certain amount of stress with that. And then, of course, now we are in the height of flu season, which usually we're not at this point in time, but this year we are. And so a lot of kids have missed a lot of school. And that also stresses the daylights out of them. It stresses them no end because they don't want to go to school. They don't want to stay home from school because they know when they're sick they can't go to school. But it means that they're going to come back with twice as much work to do to make up. And that's something that actually concerns me about the schools. We are currently in an unusual era, at least one that has not occurred before, and that is the schools pay dearly for every absence because they are actually paid in accordance with the number of pupils attending. So now when our kids get sick, and they do get sick, the schools are driving us crazy to get them back in. So what happens is a lot of kids will go to school when they're sick because they are going to get creamed by the school system, and their parents are going to be held accountable if they don't go to school. So they go to school sick, so of course everybody else gets sick, and then everybody's sick, and then nobody can function well, but they're still going to school because they can't miss school, and they're not getting good grades. So that stresses them more. And then the more stress they have from that, the more likely they are to get viral illnesses, because the body is kind of a whole functioning machine. It's interesting, right now we have doctors that'll take care of your fifth digit on the distal phalanx only, on your left hand only. Don't ask about the right hand. But the truth is there are very few doctors who actually look at the whole kid or the whole person, period. And that's what the real issue is, because the mind works on the immune system. And if you are very highly stressed, the more stressed you are, the worse your immune system functions. The worse it functions, the more likely you are to get sick. The more you get sick, the more stressed you are, and it becomes a very difficult, vicious circle.
So we'll take a break. And we're going to talk about maybe something parents could do to help relieve the stress
Absolutely.
For the kids. And we'll talk about that after this. This is the Prima Pediatrics Healthcare Hour on AM 1220 KHTS.